So tonight's presentation concerns a book. This book, which is the young Maria Callas, a book that was published with a contribution of the Italian Cultural Institute in Chicago. And in fact, it's also a book that, as we sponsored it, we'd like to make a present to you after the presentation, so you can have a copy of this book. To present the book and the documentary, we have here with us Professor Jesse Rosenberg, who is an associate professor in musicology at Northwestern University.
The young Maria Callas, this is not some sort of comprehensive overview of her entire life, her entire history of performing or recording. This is really focusing on the years of her rise to fame and fortune. So it covers a lot of her childhood, her early periods of difficulties in New York and Athens, up until and including the days of her extraordinary rise to fame in the 1950s, when she became a household name, an idol of the jet set, and so on. If she's born in New York, and she's of a Greek background, and in fact at the age of 13 goes back with her mother to live in Greece, lives out the years of her adolescence and young adulthood in Greece, why are we talking about her at an Italian cultural institute? What does Callas have to do with Italian culture? Well, I would say there are a number of different categories in which we can explore this question. I would say probably first of all, take a look at her career and take a look at the institutions with which she was closely involved as a singer. We are talking about the premier musical and operatic institutions of Italy. Got her big start in her Italian career in the Arena of Verona, even today considered one of the premier venues for performing opera. She was the star during the early 1950s of the Maggio Musicale Fiorentino, this annual festival that takes place in Florence every spring, considered absolutely top-level musical production. And she was also, especially during the 1950s, more or less the queen of La Scala. La Scala in Milan is considered the premier opera house in the entire country, and she was the reigning diva there. Anna Bolena is an opera that is really quite obscure, or was obscure until it was revived for her at La Scala. And it didn't stop there. There are a number of operas that were really dusted off, brought back to life for her. So aside from Anna Bolena, we also have Polluto, another wonderful opera by Donizetti, which had fallen into complete oblivion, but which is now known, admired, and respected, largely due to her own efforts in bringing it to life. Callas actually is, I would say, very much responsible for the revitalized interest in 19th century Italian opera on the part of intellectuals, most of whom had dismissed Italian opera as trivial and banal and cheap. Once a singer like Callas came along to sing these roles with conviction, it opened a lot of people's eyes to just how much wonderful music there was in these works.